Hello and welcome to today's Sunshine Prepper News, Party Llama Edition. Meh. I'm Willa, the Sunshine Prepper, here to spread a bit of positivity on the unavoidable doom and gloom. Before we start, please join me for a nice long deep breath and a sigh to encourage our hyperactive nervous systems to take a chill. Okay, marvelous. So today we're looking at Tyson Foods. They've found themselves in a possible Bud Light boycott type situation. If you haven't heard, they're closing down a plant in Perry, Iowa, firing over 1,200 employees. And then recently, according to a report from Bloomberg, Tyson said they're eager to hire 40,000 asylum seekers and migrants arriving in the United States. We'll take a closer look at that in just a moment. As you might imagine, some American citizens are understandably concerned, upset about possibly losing jobs to asylum seekers, which is really a fancy term for people that didn't cross at a border of entry. It's illegal migration. But are American workers really being fired to be replaced with illegal migrants? Let's see. According to the company, Tyson has partnered with an organization called Tent Partnership for Refugees, committing to hire 2,500 people that have yet to have permanent legal status in the U.S., but that does get pulled out of context a bit. They made that partnership in 2022, and it's for 3 years. But still an interesting partnership considering the press statement that came out a few days later, and they said any insinuation that Tyson would cut American jobs to hire immigrant workers is completely false. That's what they say. We'll see. The next piece of accusation against Tyson revolves around a quote from human resource leader Garrett Dolan. So Tyson already employs about 42,000 immigrants among its 120,000 strong U.S. workforce. And in speaking about that, Garrett said, "We would like to employ another 42,000 if we could find them." This, I think, is the biggest part being twisted out of context, and that's because of the concerted effort to destroy our language by trying to muddle the difference between legal immigrants and illegal migrants. Tyson wants more legal immigrants because typically the people who work their ass off to get into this country legally are pretty ambitious, hardworking folks that don't necessarily shy away from human labor. To me, when I hear Tyson says it would like to hire 42,000 more immigrants if it could, I do not hear them saying they want to hire 42,000 asylum seekers, which is where the story is being spun. Now, don't get me wrong, Tyson is no angel. I personally think corporate greed is a gnarly beast, and it's possible the Hire Asylum Seekers pilot program went well enough that they might wind up doing just what they're being accused of. Just because they only committed to hiring 2,500 asylum seekers between 2022 and 2025 doesn't mean they won't hire more. And I haven't figured out all the parts, but in some way, shape, or form, it seems like there's taxpayer money helping subsidize Tyson's seemingly charitable actions for asylum seekers. They're offering them free childcare and help with housing and legal assistance, perks that American workers don't necessarily get. So I don't know if it's the childcare or the housing part, but it seems somehow they're getting a slice of government cheese incentive on top of the cheap labor incentive. But I do want to throw them a bone real quick in terms of, are they a good company to work for? And that's the Tyson Tykes program, which started in 2021 before the debacle with hiring asylum seekers. It opened in 2023, but here in Tennessee, Tyson has a pilot program for childcare. They chose a location in Tennessee because here we have a more robust childcare subsidy, and Tyson does subsidize the childcare too, and parents on average pay $1.66 an hour, which is about half of what it would cost in centers elsewhere in Tennessee. So they've shown that they want to make life better for their employees. I'm not wholeheartedly convinced that they're quite the villain the recent news makes them out to be, but time will tell. But in the end, if you do choose to buy less Tyson products, you should boycott them not because of their hiring practices, but because their chickens are tortured and full of toxins. I can't speak to all their products, but if their pork is anything like their chicken, friends, there are way better options. Excellent opportunity for a sponsor on that note someday. But really, connect with your local growers. By the way, if you are going to avoid Tyson, make sure to check the list of 34 brands under Tyson Foods so you can be thorough in your avoidance. I think the biggest concern around this is watching out for if the accusations are preemptive but true. Even if I don't know all the nuances, there's financial incentive to hire migrants cheaper than Americans. I'm pretty sure Americans can't keep up with rent and bills at $16.50 an hour. So whether intentional or not, Tyson will be replacing Americans with migrants, just not so directly as accused, perhaps more subtly over time. So less like firing Americans to hire migrants and more like just not hiring as many Americans to hire more migrants. Let's take another nice deep breath and long sigh before we land this plane. Okay. Now that the Tyson cat is out of the bag, I think the best things that we can do are things that move us in the direction of food sovereignty. Spring is here! This week's mission, if you choose to accept it, is go grow something. Or go directly support the people growing the things. Try to remove middlemen between you and your food where you can. We can't become farmers overnight, but we can take steps towards it. So thank you for tuning in. May you and your family be blessed with clean, nutritious, life-giving foods. See you next week. Sunshine Prepper out.